Hi everyone, and welcome to the video on the basics of nutrition. So just a little about myself. My name is Debbie Bain. I qualified from OP in 2008. Yes, that is a pretty long time ago now, and much has changed on campus since then. I worked in a mixed animal practice for 2 years, after which I went to a small animal-only clinic for 4 years. I started working with ROYAL CANIN in 2015, and I am currently the Scientific Communications Manager. In the pictures, I am the one on the top right in the equine clinics, and more recently at the bottom with my family. Maybe some of you have been through a little bit of this content before, and some of you not, but to be fair, it never hurts to be repeated. Today we're going to go through who ROYAL CANIN is and what our nutritional philosophies are, the digestibility of our products, palatability, our nutrients, as well as nutraceuticals. Because this is a video, you'll be able to go back and forth as much as you please, so if you do miss anything, just pause it, rewind, and just carry on. Let's start with who ROYAL CANIN is. ROYAL CANIN is a French-based premium pet food company, which began in 1968. We are dog and cat first, which means that everything we do is for the benefits of the cats and the dogs. We base our decisions for them on the knowledge and respect we have for them. Health nutrition is first and foremost what we provide. So each diet is specifically formulated for that animal's needs. Innovation drives us. We have a research and development team which are constantly working on the latest information to adapt our formulas. And at ROYAL CANIN, we either have a new innovation or an upgrade of a formula every 6 months. And then last but not least, food quality and safety is a priority for us. We have numerous global standardized tests to ensure that each bag of ROYAL CANIN food is as safe and nutritious as it possibly can be. And this goes for every single ROYAL CANIN bag around the world. Our philosophy at ROYAL CANIN is nutrients over ingredients approach. What does this mean exactly? Well, ingredients are the raw materials, like chicken, pork, maize, etc. Nutrients are the components that make up those ingredients. So, for example, if chicken is our ingredient, the protein source, the nutrients are the amino acids which make up these proteins. To feed an animal correctly, we need to understand what their basic needs are. A dog is not a cat, and they are both definitely not humans. Each requires something different. A cat is known as an obligate carnivore, meaning that it has to have meat in its diet for its body to function. A dog is a facultative carnivore, which means that they can survive on proteins from animals or vegetables. And obviously humans are omnivores. The food that we eat, as well as the food that our animals eat, needs to provide our bodies with energy, materials for building and regenerating organs, as well as substances to control and maintain the biological functions within the body. Digestion starts in the mouth, with chewing of food and mixing with saliva. It then moves into the stomach, where chemical and enzymatic digestion starts to take place, as well as in the small intestines. The intestines is where the broken down food, so the nutrients, are absorbed. Waste products move into the large intestines, and this is stored in the rectum until it's evacuated. When we as humans sit down to eat, we tend to use all of our senses for the occasion. We want the food to look good, we want it to smell good, taste good, and feel good as we eat it. You may ask, well, what do we use our hearing for? We actually really don't, but the concept of clinking of glasses and saying cheers was a way to actually bring our hearing sense into the meal environment. Now, animals don't use all of their senses to eat like we do. They don't really care what the food looks like, and they're extremely interested in how the food smells, even more so than what it tastes like. This is really because they have a much better sense of smell compared to humans, and dogs more so than cats. Did you know that the Chihuahua is known for being a fussy eater? On closer research, it actually shows that Chihuahuas have less olfactory cells than most other dogs. Their sense of smell is not nearly as good, and this is actually why they are fussy. On the other hand, they do not taste as well as humans. So cats do not taste sweetness, for example. They do not have taste buds for sweet. This is why the aroma of the food for our animals is much more important than the taste when it comes to making a food palatable for them. The palatability of food is determined first and foremost by the smell of the food to the animal. Then it entails the ability for these animals to pick up the food and chew it. Taste is only a small part of what makes a diet palatable for our animals. Finally, the post-ingestion sensation is very important to the palatability. I'm sure we've all experienced nausea or vomiting after food, and we often get an aversion to that type of food. Same goes for our animals. This is often why animals that are in hospital, the food that they eat while they're in hospital, they won't actually eat that food when they go home. And it's really because they have a negative association to the way that they were feeling at the time of eating it. So let's move on to the nitty-gritty of food. We will start with macronutrients. Now, macro in this sense does not mean that they are more important than the micronutrients. It just means that they are needed in larger amounts. Macronutrients consist of proteins, carbohydrates, fats, as well as water. So, if we look at our proteins, amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. Amino acids are classified as essential as well as non-essential. What an essential amino acid means is that the body cannot make these amino acids. They therefore have to be provided for in the diet. So in dogs, there are 10 essential amino acids, and in the cats, there are 11. The extra one in the cat is known as taurine, and this amino acid only comes from animal meat, and this is why cats are obligate carnivores, as mentioned previously. Proteins are needed for nearly all functions in the body, for joints, muscles, tendons, hair and skin, blood, hormones, antibodies, the list goes on and on. Now, not all proteins are created equal, and some are easier to digest than others. At ROYAL CANIN, we ensure that our proteins are 90 to 95% digestible, meaning that only 5 to 10% will be unused and discarded in the feces. This obviously reduces our stool volume as well as gas produced in the colon. Carbohydrates have been getting a bit of a bad rep lately, but let's have a look at the importance of our carbohydrates. Carbohydrates provide the body with energy and they maintain a healthy digestive system for our animals. They are classified as either simple carbohydrates, so these are sugars which are broken down quickly and are used as a quick release of energy. And then we have our complex carbohydrates, which are made up of starches and dietary fibers. Starch is able to be digested by the animal and provides more of a long-term release of energy for the animal. Fibers are not digested by the animal, but by the microbes in the large intestines. Fibers actually don't provide any energy to the body, but play an important role in intestinal transit and the balance of bacterial flora. It is important to note that the level of cooking for starches in our diet is critical for them to be able to be utilized by the body. There are two types of fibers, which are our soluble and our insoluble fibers. Soluble fibers, like the name suggests, dissolve easily in water and are broken down by beneficial bacteria in the colon through the process of fermentation. Insoluble fibers will not dissolve in water and are classified into fermentable as well as non-fermentable. So our non-fermentable fibers are basically bulking agents, which help in weight loss, allowing animals to eat more without adding extra calories. Fermentable fibers are very much like soluble fibers, with producing energy for the microflora. Fats, or lipids, provide the body with energy and help with the absorption of our fat-soluble vitamins. Our fat-soluble vitamins are vitamin A, D, E, and K. They provide the skin with lubrication and have anti-inflammatory properties. They also make the food more palatable. We have essential fatty acids just like our amino acids. Remember, the body cannot make these themselves and they have to be provided for in the diet. Our omega-3s, like EPA and DHA, come from marine fish oils and some algae. They are potent anti-inflammatories in the body, and DHA is great for brain development. Omega-6s come from borage oil in the form of GLA, and they provide lubrication to the skin and other cells. Right now, the next thing we will be discussing is the micronutrients, which is composed of vitamins and minerals. Like I said earlier, they're not less important than our macronutrients, they just are needed in smaller amounts in the diet. Minerals are calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, sodium, and the list goes on and on. These minerals all have very specific functions in the body and are integral in the normal functioning of all processes. Water balances, bone development, blood oxygenation, etc., etc. Vitamins are broken down into two major groups. water-soluble and fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamins play a role, like minerals, in many different areas in the body. So vitamin C and vitamin E are potent antioxidants. Vitamin K is vital for blood clotting. Vitamins, like minerals, need to be added in the required dosages in the diets. Deficiencies as well as excesses of both of these macronutrients can have devastating effects. Finally, we come to our nutraceuticals. So nutraceuticals are neither macro nor micronutrients. Nutraceuticals are non-essential nutrients that are added to the diet to improve the animal's quality of life. Examples of this would be chondroitin and glucosamine to slow down the progression of joint disease. That really sums up the basics of nutrition and why we do what we do at Royal Canin. When you take a look at our portfolio, we have 4 major areas. Size health nutrition, based on different sizes of animals. Breed health nutrition, for specific breeds. Care nutrition, which caters for specific special needs that animals may have. And finally, our V-diet range, which caters for specific diseases. I hope that you have found this presentation helpful, and I look forward to sharing more information with you in the coming weeks. Just to end off, let's have a quick look at a special video. Thank you for attending.
What is health? Health is something different for every pet. It's what gives him a fighting chance, and is how she becomes as tough as she thinks she is. Health keeps him as strong on the inside as he is on the outside, and is the result of breakthrough solutions for pets who are allergic to pet food. Health is powerful and helps them to conquer the extremes. It turns severe situations into positive ones and makes her feel as magnificent as she looks. Health makes her stay younger, longer. It's the result of knowing what makes him and her and him unique. And health makes him run faster than the fastest man on earth. When you're obsessed with the details that make them magnificent, you partner with the brightest minds. And you try, you learn, you try again, and you never give up, ever. We're Royal Canin. Health is our obsession.